Hey guys, this is Cam15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another My Hero Academia manga chapter review. And after obviously the 1 week break because of Golden Week, we are finally back with chapter 311 of the My Hero Academia manga. In what, my God, that cliffhanger was freaking insane. What a freaking cliffhanger. Seems like Tarturus prison babe is back. I totally forgot about her. Like, no lie. Anyways, we'll get to it soon. So yeah, anyways, the chapter starts off where these villains using these support items are essentially just tearing up the place. Endeavor's there, and we find out that the dude is using a nail gun support item and stuff like that. Now, what Endeavor does is he does this move called Ignited Arrow. I think this is one of his newer moves in his arsenal. So yeah, now the villain essentially says, "You've got to be kidding me. All of this is your fault." And that's when obviously Endeavor's like, "That's why I'm here." Essentially, again, further hitting the fact, like, look, he's really doing this to atone for his sins of the past, and really it's the only thing he can do to at least give some stability in Japan and everything. So again, using that "I'm here" speech, which, hey, all right, I guess everybody's gonna use it. I guess the last person I'm gonna wait to hear it wait to say it is probably Deku when he finally says "I'm here," or "I am here," or something like that. So yeah, anyways, we get a conversation between Endeavor, Best Genius, and Hawks. And Best Genius says, "Another one of the jailbreakers conspirators. As always, there's nothing here that could trace him back." Now, also too, the support items that the villains were using were essentially supported from the organization that essentially supports Reed Destro's organization from the Paranormal Liberation Front. There you go. So yeah, now then all of a sudden you see these civilians just throwing all this garbage and stuff like that at these heroes. And essentially, they say, "Get out of here, you bringer of misfortune. If you didn't let Shigaraki and his gang get away, Jailbreaker would never have come." And stuff like that. They go on to say it was all over the news. "Shigaraki is after someone other than you guys. Endeavor is still keeping his secrets from us." And yes, again, they're not wrong. Endeavor is still hiding secrets, which is probably something that you want to hide and stuff like that. But you can clearly see that the public definitely has a different view of Endeavor now than they did before. You know, not to say some of it isn't justified. I do feel like the people could take better action of expressing their discomfort and their hatred towards Endeavor, and stuff like that. But again, no, it's the same thing like we have with the fandom. If you definitely do not appreciate the fact that, you know, or you feel like Endeavor is a character that should never be forgiven for what he did, again, I don't blame you. I've said this many times on my channel. You don't have to forgive Endeavor if you don't feel like you want to. Some people appreciate the fact that he wants to change and he wants to be a different character, a different person, a better person. So yeah, and that essentially makes them walk away and stuff like that. Now, we get an interesting conversation here between the three characters, Hawks, Best Genius, and Endeavor, essentially talking about the desperation for All for One to not only heal Shigaraki, but as well as get his hands on one for all. Or did I say one? All for One. Anyways, two, Hawks also calls Edgeshot to see, because Edgeshot is essentially investigating the Liberation Front, but there has been no progress made because, hey, every damn major villain is staying under lock, pick, and key and stuff like that. Whew, I'm tired, man. But anyways, going on, essentially Hawks brings to the point, like, we should stay away from All Might and the others and stuff like that, because if the mass media catches on, then our secret's gonna be out, and guess what? Deku's gonna more than likely come under fire from the people, and they're gonna be like, "Well, do something about it. You're supposed to be our grave savior," and stuff like that. Endeavor also agrees and says, that Deku shouldn't be more burdened than more than he already is. Now he goes on to say, even though it might have been his idea, we're still using Deku as bait to lure out the League, but they're hidden pretty well. Obviously, again, they're just hiding and stuff like that. Now, they go on to continue. Jailbreaker, I figured that the supervillains who broke out of Tartarus would be following some kind of order. Hiding under the social upheaval while capturing One for All must be their best bet. Best Genius replies to this saying, not to mention, we are heroes currently disorganized. If I was All for One, I would go on the offensive. And that's when, obviously, Endeavor's like, well, it's just like Deku said. Taking over Shigaraki's body is essentially All for One's top priority. Because we know Shigaraki needs his body to be healed up completely to get his full power, so All for One can eventually take it over and maybe use it to his own liking and stuff like that. Endeavor goes on to say, after being defeated by All Might, his body could only be sustained with equipment. Once he puts the finishing touches on Shigaraki, he is most likely planning to take over his body and stuff like that. Now, Hawks brings up the fact in this conversation that Shigaraki was forced to be let out because, hey, we were about to capture him and everything and stuff like that. Now, he also asks the question, he's like, how are they moving All for One is hard to say, but it's clear that certain conditions have yet to be met complete in Shigaraki's body. And that's whenever brings up the point is like, when friggin' Shigaraki's at full power and his body's completely, integrated with All for One, he's gonna use that power to eventually take One for All from Deku and stuff like that. And that's when Hawks brings up like, whoa, that's bugging me. Like, how could that happen and stuff like that? Essentially, they go on to say, Midoriya, I think this is, what is it? Hawks are Endeavor talking. And Hawks essentially says, Midoriya and All Might told me that Shigaraki won't be able to accept the power if his body doesn't get stronger. It makes sense that a strong body is necessary, but why does he need all of Shigaraki's hatred and stuff like that? And Best Genius essentially replies by saying, it's the strength of his feelings, right? One for All carries the spirit of 8 people. I suppose he requires a will that exceeds them, which essentially we all figured, which we all somewhat knew that, listen. And it kind of makes it kind of more understanding that, this is a way for One for All to potentially be taken away and be stolen. The fact that if Shigaraki's will of hatred, he has so much hatred that overcomes One for All's will and its determination to counteract that, it could easily be taken by that, and that's what All for One's going to use to do it. Now, Hawks replies by saying, but All for One has been chasing his brother One for All for centuries. For him to have a successor, Shigaraki must be carrying out an extraordinary amount of hatred, which we all know, because we know Shigaraki hates the Hero Society because of his backstory and everything, of the fact that there was not one hero that wanted to help him and stuff like that. So, yeah, again, it's very interesting. And, it's still freaking scary to see all that happening and everything. Now, anyways, they end off their conversation by saying, anyhow, we can't trace their movements, and even the supervillains we caught don't have any intel, or they don't want to give us that intel. If they want to avoid a fight, we don't have to drag them out. It might be time to dedicate all manpower to the investigation, even if it means reducing the amount of staff workers. Now, they get a beep sent to their phone. Anyways, it cuts from them to All Might. And All Might's kind of driving in his car, and essentially, he's thinking about the fact that Deku's not really getting much, rest or sleep or anything. And he recalls back to have a flashback moment of the fact when Night Eye essentially told him the same thing, when he said like, yo, hey, I think you should get some rest and everything. And now All Might is like, shit. Now I understand what freaking Night Eye was talking about. Then lo and behold, we see that our All Might sees that Deku's GPS signal vanished. But as he's about to pick up the phone, this bomb-looking thing is right next to All Might's car. And then it literally, we see in the next panel, just an explosion. So we don't even know if All Might's dead. All Might's somewhat alive. I envision he's probably not dead. He's probably just very badly wounded and very badly hurt. Now, if another villain did this, they might actually end up taking All Might hostage to maybe have Deku. I haven't seen somebody bring this up. Maybe, and actually, let me cut over to the end of the chapter, which was a crazy reveal. Anyways, Deku, as he was about to contact All Might, couldn't do it because we see essentially a bullet shot take out Deku's communicator. And essentially, it says, "We'll take you with us." And essentially, it goes on to say, "They're coming. The villain didn't appear coincidentally. He's targeting me. They're here. One that connects us with the jailbreaker." And the last panel is Deku turning around, and we see the girl from the Tarturus breakout. With what we see of her quirk is, I'm guessing her quirk is she can materialize her body into actual like weapons. Like she has like her legs are like a point standing like gun point locked in, and her arm essentially like turned into a freaking sniper. So I'm guessing her quirk is some weapon type of quirk that makes her skin turn into legit freaking weapons. And essentially again, like I said, this girl is hot. And new villain babe essentially says, "Follow my orders and I'll leave your limbs attached." Deku ends off the chapter saying, "An assassin sent by All for One." We don't know if this was an assassin sent by All for One. Also in that panel, we see a character in the lower left-hand corner of that page, and we see that there's no arms there. It's just his shirt's flapping, and lo and behold, I think it's without a shadow of a doubt, that's Overhaul. Yes, good old Chisaki. That's where the chapter ends off on a crazy cliffhanger. When I was reading this chapter, I was like, holy shit, I did not see this coming. I totally forgot about this chick with Overhaul. Now it's going to be a very interesting conversation because this is being the first time Deku and Overhaul are going to see each other since what we saw from season 4 back in the Overhaul arc. And stuff like that. And 2, we don't know if these two are like doing their own thing or if they have been sent by All for One to do this. Now going back to the All Might thing, I wonder, was that her that sent out the bomb next to All Might's car? I have a feeling that's probably not her because Deku's in a completely different area than All Might, potentially. I believe that's the case. I wonder if this was another maybe League of Villain member that attacks All Might, and maybe in an effort to bring Deku out, they hold All Might hostage. And who knows, maybe they televise and say, "Hey, we got the former symbol of peace, All Might here. You know who you are. Come out if you want to save your feeble master," and stuff like that. So that could be a storyline if All Might is there and he's probably badly injured. I think he's morally badly injured. I don't think he's dead yet. I still feel like All Might eventually will probably die, but it'll be like some sort of sacrifice thing, maybe leading up into the final battle, where we'll give Deku that courage to understand. Like, look, I have to become the new symbol of peace now, and stuff like that. But this chapter ended off on a huge cliffhanger. I don't know what this new Tartarus babe's gonna do, but again, like I said, she is cute. And again, her quirk seems very freaking interesting. So I guess we're gonna be back on the simping train to see what this girl does. We don't know if she's friend, foe. We don't know if she's gonna go against All for One. We're just gonna have to find out next week, I guess. I don't know when the next manga chapter is because I'm reading the unofficial translations and stuff like that, the early release chapters. But anyways, it was a very good chapter. Brought up the fact about how One for All can potentially be taken if Shigarachi's hatred is over the power or essentially overpowers the will of the users of One for All. and stuff like that, and then Deku running into some trouble. I don't know if Deku's gonna end up fighting her. We're gonna have to see. But anyways, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. In the comment section your thoughts on this week's manga chapter of My Hero Academia, as well as hit that subscribe button to get more My Hero Academia content. Hopefully you guys are having a great Mother's Day. I'm actually recording this, I'm recording this Saturday afternoon, and it's going to go up Sunday morning. It's been a while since I made a My Hero Academia review and posted it on a Sunday. But the reason why is because today I kind of posted like 3 videos today, maybe 4. So other than that, hopefully, like I said, you guys are having a great Mother's Day. Hopefully you guys are celebrating your Mother's Days with your moms and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you guys, again, enjoyed the video, see you guys on the next video. Till then, guys, peace.